Welcome to my podcast, Protest and Change, where I'll be discussing the Black Lives Matter movement at Toronto Pride. In this podcast today, we will investigate what happened at the Toronto Pride Parade in 2016, discussing how and what happened concerning the Black Lives Matter group, the actions that were taken, and the things that happened because of this event. Pride Toronto is one of the largest pride parades globally and is a celebration dedicated to the LGBTQ+ community and their allies. The event becomes not only a bright expression of identity and unity, but also a reminder of the actions taken to reach equality. However, the relationship between the LGBTQ+ community and the police is rather complex, rooted in a history of tension and mistrust. The parade began in 1981 because of police brutality against members of the LGBTQ+ community, and therefore, this aspect represents the unseemly history that police have had with marginalized communities. 2016 was also a year when Pride Toronto invited Black Lives Matter, BLM, a group fighting against police violence and anti-Black racism, as honored guests at the parade. Regarding this invitation, the event became more diverse because it recognized multiple identities within the queer community and that police violence affects many people in the LGBTQ+ community. More than halfway through the parade, BLM stopped their float and read a list of demands. These demands included asking for increased funding for marginalized groups within the queer community, such as South Asian Stage, Black Queer Youth, and Blockorama. However, the most controversial requirement was to prohibit police from parading in uniform during these parades. Finally, after half an hour of negotiation and confrontation, the executive director of Pride Toronto agreed to sign a letter of acknowledgement of the demands and to go on with the parade. This event received much controversy in the media, where different stations provided different perspectives on the actions of BLM and the demands they had. The event was covered by media, and there were divided opinions regarding it. While some outlets positioned the BLM protest as essential and courageous, outlining the problem of police brutality and systemic racism within the LGBTQ+ population, others complained that it was disruptive, arguing that the police participating in the parade was a positive change, representing progress and unity.
That I hope people realize how fragile Pride Toronto. It's very easy to see all those statistics and think that it's fabulous, but I want everybody to remember that Pride organizations have gone bankrupt, have failed all over the world. It shouldn't be a political piñata. It's something that we have to work hard to protect and preserve. Lots of people in the world would be extremely grateful to have the event that we have.
Some people feel afraid of having the police in the parade. And some people feel afraid not having the police in the parade. Those are two truths which we have to accept. Some people feel afraid seeing the police in uniform. Some feel afraid not seeing the police in uniform. But the reality we have to acknowledge is that the symbols matter. Symbols matter to people here, and the symbols matter to people globally.
The public response was also split 50-50. Some members of the LGBTQ+ community supported BLM's demands due to their historical and continued experiences with police discrimination, while some believed that depriving police officers, of whom many are part of the LGBTQ+ community, was not beneficial, as the whole point is inclusiveness and unity. In the following months after this, Pride Toronto initially had plans of permitting the police force to return to the parade while in uniform, due to the pressure from many police officers wanting to celebrate. However, this was overturned during their annual meeting, which stated concerns over continuous confrontation and the need to also meet the needs of a diverse group of participants. Police union became offended by the decision and demanded that the mayor pull funding for the parade, claiming that even though members of the LGBTQ+ community are police officers, the community is effectively shunning the force. However, City Hall deemed it necessary to continue supporting the parade, realizing that it was a massive event that promoted diversity as well as boosted the tourism revenue of the city.
Today, the head of the association that represents Toronto officers expressed disappointment Pride Toronto signed the document.
We feel that we were thrown under the bus, and if that's the case, that they had no intent or they just wanted to keep the parade moving, they need to deal with it, and they need to deal with it now, and they need to offer our members and all police an apology.
In the following year's parade, BLM marched again, but this time no protest was staged and the police were not marching in their uniform. This pattern extended through 2018 and 2019, though in 2019 it was revealed that the police would again be invited in 2020. But due to the coronavirus outbreak, the parade was not held. Nonetheless, the police ensured the security and safety of the parade and continued to hoist the Pride flag throughout June, which is Pride Month. But in my opinion, it should be hung every day, as you shouldn't be proud of who you are once a year, but it should be an everyday thing. Anyways, this is a constant reminder of the dynamic between the police force and the LGBTQ+ community. Though the relationship is gradually getting better, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done.
If we take a step back, we now have an opportunity for a couple of things. One, Pride Executive can now focus on working with us and developing relationships with those that they feel are marginalized. But two, they have the opportunity now to move forward and actually start the festival, because as of today, nothing has come across our table yet with respect to the festival.
They've put out a statement today that amounts to nothing. Pride had already made that decision. What we need is the politicians to do what needs to be done to make sure that Black people, that Black queer people, that Black trans people are not treated differently than other people in the city.
To give some context, the protest was organized in June of 2016 in support of the Black Lives Matter movement after cases of racially motivated police brutality. This illustrated that people were able to raise awareness and to create change. It also underlined such elements as constant discussion and change. These kinds of protests are necessary for everybody to realize that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done and a lot of voices that need to be heard. When analyzing how media affects the perception of society, there is also a need to point out and examine the way the narratives can affect an individual's perception of a particular social movement. A movement could be regarded as bad by millions just because of social media. This also means that media analysis could provide a wider picture of an issue and more information on how change can be advocated. Different media outlets can depict a particular movement differently. Some will focus on the call for change and justice, while others will hone in on the effects of the protest and the possible instigation of violence. This selection can shape the public's opinion as much as it can endorse or condemn the movement. From these narratives, one is capable of seeking other sources or opinions on what is happening so that he or she does not have to assume and can have their own opinion based on multiple different points of views. Thank you for tuning into Protest and Change. I hope this has helped you further your understanding and provided you with valuable insights into the impact of Black Lives Matter at Toronto Pride and how the matters relate to broader social justice concerns. Thank you.